Harinamatu Amrita Swarupa Jaya Hare Nama Jaya Hare Nama Jaya Hare Nama Jaya Hare Nama Hare Nama Jaya Hare Nama Hare Nama Jaya Hare Jaya Bhakti Vinod Jaya Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Jaya Bhakti Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande Manamana Sumadukaram Arpaya Nijapada Pankajamakarande Manamana Sumadukaram Arpaya Nijapada Pankajamakarande Krishna Deva Bhavandam Bande Krishna Deva Bande Ayadishu Virdapi Pasha Sadapi Samadishu Virdapi Idam Nichami Chuta Sarapi Kripa Bhuta Vishin Idam Nichami Yata Krishna Deva Bande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande Manasamadhukara Marpaya Nijapada Pankajamakarande Manasamadhukara Marpaya Nijapada Pankajamakarande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande Bhakti-rujan Shatiyadyapi Madhava Natai Mama Tilamati Bhakti-rujan Shatiyadyapi Madhava Natai Mama Tilamati Paramesvarata Nivasatu Nityamiham Nityanindini Vrindan Madhurimasaram Nivasatu Nityamiham Nityanindini Vrindan Madhurimasaram Krishna Deva Bhavandam Bande Krishna Deva Bhavandam Bande Manamana Sumarukara Mapaya Nijapara Pankajamakarande Manamana Sumarukara Mapaya Nijapara Pankajamakarande Krishna Deva Bhavandam Bande Krishna Deva Bhavandam Bande Krishna Prabhu He Krishna Prabhu He Krishna Prabhu He Krishna Prabhu He Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Namodara Nati Narana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrindavi Pineshe Namodara Nati Narana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrindavi Pineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Avishavadadi Navashirashire Lalita Sakhi Gunaramita Vishabhi Vishabandati Navashirashire Ramita Vishake Vishavandari Navashashile Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishake Vishavandari Navashashile Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Karunam Guru Mai Karuna Varite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Karuna Gurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Karuna Gurumai Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate 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 Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Gokula Charuni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Hari Bol, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Srila Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. I'm going to have to learn how to undo the sound effects because Nitya always likes to put on sound effects and echo and all of that.
Really delighted the children singing.
Yeah, right. Wow. We'll look at it.
Well, I think I already turned it on.
Hari Bol.
Yeah, I turned it off.
What it is you see the shining light on the right hand side? Yeah. So if you press the button in next to that shining light, it engages. Then it becomes shining also. Mm-hmm. Then that seems to start or stop. No, at the bottom. Oh, here. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So only those two lights are supposed to be on. But he turns on that other light next to that on the right hand side. Right. And then he fiddles with the test it. Hari Bol. Yeah, see it's gone. Shorty Maharaj is watching.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shorty Maharaj. Gopanandini Didi. Dandavat Pranams, Shorty Maharaj, Gopanandini Didi, and any other great souls who are watching. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Jai Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai. Shri Nrsimha Bhagavan Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astotar Sata Shri Srimad Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astotar Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Shri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gauri Vedanta Charya Srila Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghuna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghuna Sara Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Srila Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandadi Gauda Parsada Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Antara Dvip Mayapur Simanta Dvip Godram Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Rita Dvip Jana Dvip Moda Druma Dvip Ruda Devatmaka Shri Shri Navadvip Dhama ki jai. Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiu ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiu ki jai. Jai Shrimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda ki jai. Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda ki jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi ki jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Yoga Maya Devi ki jai. Shri Gopishwar Mahadev ki jai. Sarva Bishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhana ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakrajiv ki jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Kshetra Dhama ki jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Dev ki jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Charodam Charo Sampradaya Charu Acharya ki jai. Akramatraj Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai. Orananya Shakamat Samuha ki jai. Shri Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Tri Bhuvana Pavana Harinama Sankirtana ki jai. Tri Bhuvana Mangala Harinama Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana ki jai. Shri Pancha Tattva ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande. Srila Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai. Shri Upadeśāmṛta ki jai. Our God brother Sri Krishna Das Kirtaniya Prabhu ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Is it loud enough, or we turn it a little louder? I think a little bit louder.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the kitchen?
Yeah, you can turn it a little louder.
Yeah. Can you just turn that dial up?
That dial.
The one on the left, far underneath the light. There, that one.
Push forward.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it?
No.
Haribol. Oh, that made a difference.
Good for the broadcast.
Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahabhadanaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne Gaura Trishe Namaha. Nityanandam namastubhyam Premananda pradayane Kalau kalmashanashaya Janava pataye Namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato Samkirtanaika pitaro
Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yuga Dharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Shuruto Pangor Mama Mandamater Gati Matsarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyat Brindaranya Kalpa Drumadha Shrimad Ratnagar Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalibi Sevyamano Smaram Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshivata Tatakstitaha Karshana Venu Swanayar Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha Brindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Diksha and Siksha Gurudevs. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. My Dandavat Pranams to all of our Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. So today we are going to embark on a journey together. A journey which I haven't exactly done in this way previously, but had a desire to do for a long time. I also mentioned it to devotees. What is that journey? The journey is to go to the shore of the ocean of nectar. The shore of the ocean of Upadeśāmṛta. Amrita means nectar, yes? Our Gurudev lectured on this, and he also told that this is pure nectar. These instructions given in the book penned by Srila Rupa Goswami titled Sri Upadeśāmṛta. They are actually coming directly from the lotus mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. This was, we read about this one evening, a few nights ago, when we were reading the purport of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur of the final verse, verse 11 of Sri Upadeśāmṛta. There he mentions how the personal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Govinda Das, kept his own diary. And he noted down the prominent pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which later on became shared with Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami shared that with Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And thus, the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita manifested as a result of those notes of Sri Govinda Das. So Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada is telling that story which we read the other evening, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one day was at the ocean front in Jagannath Puri. And that actually this was toward the very end of his manifest pastimes. And his moods were always somewhat uncontrollable, how day and night, he would be immersed very, very deeply in tasting the separation mood of Srimati Radharani, in the Gambhira particularly, and within the association of Ramananda Roy and Swarup, in diving into this unlimited ocean of Srimati Radhika's brain. So on that day when they were at the ocean front, and by the way, yesterday I read the introduction of Srila Gurudev's Upadeśāmṛta to begin our journey, and there Srila Gurudev in the introduction mentioned exactly the same incident. So this should be understood by all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas that this pastime of Mahaprabhu being on the ocean front, and practically speaking he was lost in internal consciousness. His bhaktas were along with him there, right on the ocean front. When he saw the bluish color of the waves of the ocean, and he also saw the beautiful trees and gardens that were next to the shore of the ocean, it reminded him of the Yamuna, and it reminded him of Govardhan, and all the kunjas around Govardhan. And Mahaprabhu became lost in deep immersion in remembering all the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So, with difficulty, the devotees, they attempted to bring him back into external consciousness, which eventually happened. And at that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to speak to the devotees. And what he spoke to the devotees was noted down by Srila Rupa Goswami, who was there at the time. And from those notes that he noted down, then he composed 11 verses. And Srila Rupa Goswami's 11 verses became known as Sri Upadeśāmṛta. And the Upadeśāmṛta Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told is really the life breath of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Those 11 verses. And he said that this Upadeśāmṛta should be worn like a garland or like a necklace around all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas' necks. So Actually, this nectar of instruction, Srila Prabhupada, he translated the Upadeśāmṛta for the first time into the English language. And it was manifested in 1975 for the first time, which was actually 10 years after Srila Prabhupada had come to the West. And I was remembering that at that time, I was in Los Angeles. Haribol? Yeah, okay. I was in Los Angeles at that time. At the end of 75, end of the summer, we had completed the marathon, book publishing marathon that Srila Prabhupada had instructed to be done. 2-month marathon, calling devotees from all over the world to come, because Prabhupada ordered that he wanted the books which had been lagging behind of his own translation, and they were not yet being published and printed. And he was not happy about this. So that's a whole story, how he toured the facilities, and they had some initial computer equipment, you could say, typesetting equipment. Really the first generation of computerized typesetting. And it was very big, like a tall thing sat on the floor. And they were showing it to Prabhupada, how they had just acquired that. And on the morning walk, in a discussion, like, what is now going on with his books? So Prabhupada said, how many books are you yet to print, what I've already translated? And then Rameshwar Prabhu was there, Radha Vallabha Prabhu, they were in charge of the BBT and book production. So they said, Srila Prabhupada, there are 17 volumes. We estimate 17 volumes. But they also told Prabhupada that with this, because Prabhupada asked, how fast, how quickly can you go? And then they said, well, previously we were able to bring out one book every 6 months. And when we were in New York, that was the speed we were going at, despite having an entire department of type, I don't know if you called it typesetting at that time, but it was like a special kind of typewriter, on special kind of paper, but it was just a typewriter. You know, ink on paper. And so, despite their efforts, they were bringing out only one book every 6 months. And this is 1975, summertime, which none of us knew, but Srila Prabhupada would only be on the planet another 2 years, 2 years and a couple months. And Srila Prabhupada was not happy that his books were still sitting. Okay, so he asked, how quickly can you go now with this new equipment? And so then Rameswara said, oh, Srila Prabhupada, we have speeded it up very, very much. Because what we were able to do, one book every 6 months, now we estimate we can do one book every month. So that's speeding it up 6 times, right? So then Prabhupada said, he says, you must finish all 17 volumes in 2 months.
That's a Chaitamrita, right?
It was actually 15 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita, because there were already 2 volumes that were printed from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it was 15 volumes of that, and the 2 volumes that comprise the entire 5th canto of Bhagavatam. So 17 volumes. And Prabhupada said, you must do it in 2 months. So 2 months compared to 2 books in 2 months. That's right. 6 times speeded up, then 8 times speeded it up. 2 months, 17 volumes. So, what did Ramaswami say to Prabhupada?
Impossible.
He said, Prabhupada, that's impossible. And what did Prabhupada say in response? With his cane in the sand on Venice Beach,
Impossible.
putting his cane into the sand and staring him in the face, what did Prabhupada say to him?
Impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary.
Yes. I just actually saw that quote the other day. Somebody had, not from Prabhupada. That's Prabhupada quoting, I think it's Napoleon. Yeah, it's Napoleon.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, Napoleon. When they were going to go across the Alps in the middle of the winter, and Napoleon had a tactic that he would burn whatever ships were there and sink them as a sign to the soldiers, this is do or die. We're not going back. Right? So, and he mentioned that, Napoleon's words, Prabhupada, was the supreme Napoleonic conqueror of the whole world for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Impossible is the word in a fool's dictionary. You must do it in 2 months, otherwise you are disqualified as disciples. Yeah, he actually said that. What did the devotees do? Well, immediately Ramaswami, Prabhupada was walking. So they started talking to one another. How are we going to do this? We're going to have to get a 24-hour shift of devotees in every single department. In the editing, in the proofreading, in the photographing, in the painting, the artists. We're going to have to call devotees from all over the world. And if we can put together a 24-hour shift, non-stop, maybe we can do it. So they went back up to the front of the line and they said, Prabhupada, we've just been discussing a plan, how it may be possible to do it. Prabhupada says, start right now. They left the party, drove back to the temple, got on the phone, and they were calling every single temple all over the world and, raising the alarm. So, little Uru Kramadas, who just flew back from India, my first trip to India in 75, right? And landed in New York, met the devotees at the airport who were distributing books. They gave me a ride back to the temple. And I was like jet-lagged. It was one of those, it was the return ticket of the chartered flight where there were not many people on the airplane, the one that brought all the devotees to India, And I stayed 3 months in India, but then my ticket was almost ready to expire, my visa was almost ready to expire, and my health was almost expiring. So I decided, okay, I'll go back, right? And so the next morning, after resting, I was taking prasadam in the downstairs temple room of the Brooklyn temple, downstairs prasadam room in the basement of the Brooklyn temple. And one devotee was reading this BBT newsletter that had just come, And this is exactly what was being described by Ramaswami in the newsletter, that very story that I just told. And in the newsletter he was saying, we're requesting any devotees that have these abilities and these skills to immediately come to Los Angeles, right? And I thought to myself, well, I'm one of those devotees, because for 2 years I was doing paste up and layout. That was my part-time seva in the New York temple. And I knew that was not something that anyone could just immediately start to do and do it efficiently and speedily. I knew it would take time. So I thought, oh, Krishna must have inspired me to come back for this. So then I went to Gopijana Ballabha Prabhu's office, the temple president, and I said, Maharaj, I just heard this BBT newsletter. Yeah, I've seen it too, he said. I said, yeah, well, I think that I should inform Ramaswar that I'm here in New York. And so then he called up immediately there to Ramaswar in Los Angeles, and then he told him, oh, you know, Urukram, he just came back from India, he's here. He says he's there, put him on the phone. Urukram, you're back from India, we've been wondering where you are. Immediately get on the next plane to Los Angeles. So they gave me the money for the ticket. I went to the airport and flew to Los Angeles. It was my first time coming to California. And got picked up at the airport by Gurudev.
Yeah.
Right? Then I was driven to the temple, but I wasn't driven to the temple. I was driven to the house across the street from the temple, which was the new BBT place, right? Where they had all the equipment and everything. They had set it all up as the new operation for BBT. And I was brought inside and shown, this is your desk. Get started. So that was the beginning of the 2-month marathon for me. And we completed it one day after the 2-month deadline. So we were very frightened that we were all going to get disqualified because we didn't exactly. But then when they wrote to Prabhupada, Prabhupada was very, very pleased. And he gave blessings to everyone. Everyone, he gave blessings that all of you who have been engaged in this, all the letters of Srila Prabhupada. But I remember Prabhupada said, you will all go back to Godhead for doing this. He did not say when, but... So anyway, the whole reason that I launched into this is because right after that marathon was completed, we didn't stop. We kept on going, and they brought to my desk the printout of the newly translated book by Srila Prabhupada, the Sri Upadeśāmṛta, Nectar of Instruction. And they wanted me to kind of lay out the cover for it. It was very simple. Just a photo of Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. You will remember the cover of that book. And on the back cover is Radha Kunda, and just simply Nectar of Instruction, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta, some words like that. So I put that together, and but it was the first time that I now had in my hands the Upadeśāmṛta. None of us had heard of it before. None of us had read it before. And when I began to read, as I was doing the layout, as I was pasting up the whole book, I began to read verse 1, verse 2, all this, I thought, oh, this is really important. This is so important, you know. And so that was my first association with this incredible book of Rupa Goswami. And even then we didn't know how this book stands out so much amongst all the books that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, you know, have embraced to their heart. And Srila Gurudev, he is the one who really pointed out that actually there are 2 books. He said actually there are 4 books, but there are 2 books particularly which is describing the whole process. The whole sadhana, the process, the sadhana by which the sadhya can be attained. The first book is Srila Rupa Goswami Sri Upadeśāmṛta. The second book is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad's Sri Manosiksha. And that we didn't get until a couple of decades later also. So, those 2 books, and also Sikshastakam, with the commentary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and also Sri Bhajan Rahasya. those 4 books, especially prominent. Any Gaudiya Vaishnava must very in depth study and try to embrace these instructions. So, Srila Gurudev lectured as well on the Upadeśāmṛta right here in Badger. How many were here when Gurudev gave those lectures? Okay. And that was, I think, his 2nd year. Right? 2nd year. And from those lectures, a book was published. And what is the title of that book?
The essence of all life.
That's right. And what was Srila Gurudev's mood in presenting that book?
To show how Prabhupada and what he was giving him not different.
Were what?
Were the same.
Yeah.
He was only speaking what Prabhupada
Yes.
was giving him.
Yes.
Can you say the name of the book again?
The book is called The Essence of All Advice. Now, why is it called The Essence of All Advice?
Because that's in the book itself.
Yes. You know that? That verse? It's the 8th verse out of 11 verses. And in that verse, Srila Gurudev highlighted this verse all the time. We also discussed this to some extent in one of our classes a few days back. Has mentioned in the last line, he said, Saram. The words, Iti Upadesha Saram means this is the essence of all instructions. Iti Upadesha Saram. So, the Vedas are very vast. We know that. The Vedas are very vast and very voluminous. There are so many different parts of the Vedas. There is the original 4 Vedas. There is the Upanishads. There are the Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana. In the Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita spoken by Lord Krishna himself. It is also called the Gita Upanishad. And the Vedanta Sutra has been written by Srila Vyasadeva to summarize all the philosophical principles that are given in all the Upanishads, especially because the Upanishads are the philosophical part of the Vedas. So he wrote the Vedanta Sutras. Vedanta Sutras. If anyone has a phone, turn off the ringer so that we don't have to get the class disturbed. So the Vedanta Sutra is called also the Brahma Sutras. There's 2 names, Brahma Sutra and Vedanta. What is the meaning of Vedanta?
The end of all knowledge. Or
That's
the
right.
conclusion.
Can you break it down? Can you break that down? The words, Vedanta.
Yeah, Veda is knowledge,
Yeah.
and Anta is the end.
That's right. Yes. So, Anta. Adi means beginning, Anta means end. So, Veda Anta. The end of the Vedas. The end of all knowledge. So Srila Vyasadeva wrote that. And as we know well, he still was not fully satisfied. So after that, okay, I'll repeat again. Please turn off your ringers. If you have a phone with you, turn the ringers off. It's very easy to do that, to turn your ringer off. So, after Srila Vyasadeva wrote all the Vedas and the Vedanta Sutra, we know from the beginning, from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that he was not satisfied and he was not capable of detecting why he wasn't satisfied. And then Sri Narada Rishi came, and Narada Rishi understood everything, and what did he do? He examined his disciple, took the pulse, and smiled at him. And then Srila Gurudev has repeated this many, many times, how Sri Narada Muni inspired Srila Vyasadeva to write the explicit description of the pastimes of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literature. It is the cream of all Vedic knowledge. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came into this world, he also gave many instructions. And he is Krishna himself. When he came into this world, he had specifically 5 major conversations of instructions that he gave. And our Srila Prabhupada took these 5 conversations from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and published them in a separate book, which came out quite early on, around 1968-69. And that book was titled The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Right? So that's called Gauravani. Gaura is Gauravani. Our Gurudev also gave lectures on this topic, and there are also a book. The book that was compiled from these lectures, where Srila Gurudev was telling what is Gauravani. And what is the title of that book? Gauravani Pracharani. Right? Because Srila Prabhupada, he gave this pranam mantra, his own pranam mantra, quite in the beginning, when his disciples requested that, can we have a pranam mantra for you, Srila Prabhupada? Right? So then he gave the first Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, but then he also gave the second pranam mantra. Everyone here knows it, we can all say it together. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarane. So who can break down this verse and explain the translation for it?
Namaste Saraswati Deve is obeisances unto Srila Saraswati Thakur,
servant of. Yes.
Namaste Saraswati Deve or Devum that means coming from.
In Prabhupada's own translation, it says, "O servant of Saraswati Thakur."
Oh, okay.
So, Namaste Saraswati Devi. My obeisances to the servant of Saraswati, Prabhupada. Then the next line.
Gauravani Pracharane. Speaking the words and teachings that Lord Chaitanya gave is being preached.
Yes, Pracharane.
Pracharane.
You have come to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is called Gauravani. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarane. Here the words Paschatya Desha. What is Paschatya Desh?
Western lands.
Means the Western countries. The Western countries. Paschatya Desha. And Tarane means to do what?
Deliver.
To deliver the Western countries. From what? Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Nirvishesha. What does Nirvishesha mean?
Without.
It does, but what is literally the meaning of Nirvisheshvad, the philosophy of Nirvishesh?
Without quality.
Without
Yes.
form.
Without Vishesh, without any specific qualities, form, attributes, like this, pastimes, completely impersonal. So this is called Nirvisheshvad, the philosophy of impersonalism of the Absolute. So Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. What is Shunyavad? What does the word Shunya mean?
Nothingness.
It means zero. Shunya. It means nothingness. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiu Ki Jai. So, Shunyavad is like Buddhism. Buddhism is a form of Shunyavad, the philosophy of Nirvana. What does Nirvana mean? Nir is the prefix which indicates, yes, it means having none. Nirvana. Vana is referring to this material existence. And also Vana means forest. But Vana, in this context, Nirvana, means this material existence. And Nir means nothing. That whatever we see, it does not exist. It is void.
Can I have your wallet?
It is void. It is void. It does not exist. This is the Buddhistic conception. So, Srila Prabhupada, he wrote this pranam mantra, and this is how he wanted his disciples to understand his mission from the very beginning. That his mission was to come to the Western countries as a servant of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and to preach the Gauravani, the message of Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism, and to deliver them. So, Srila Gurudev was very specific about what is this Gauravani that Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to preach. What is Gauravani? And then Srila Gurudev began to explain, Gauravani is exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself taught. And we're very fortunate that we have the biography, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which his literal words have been presented. What he taught to Rupa Goswami, what he taught to Sanatana Goswami, what he taught to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what he discussed with Ramananda Roy, and what he taught to Prakashananda Saraswati, amongst all the Mayavadis. How he converted them. Is there any other Gauravani as well as those conversations? Sikshastakam. The final chapter of the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is titled the Sikshastakam. The 8 verses of instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came directly from his lotus mouth. So there are other Gauravanis as well, but these are the major. Directly, Mahaprabhu did not write any books, but what he spoke and what he taught. And then as represented by his direct disciples, the 6 Goswamis, how they wrote the books ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now we are narrowing down to Gauravani, and what Mahaprabhu spoke directly at the end of his pastimes on the bank of the ocean in Jagannath Puri, written down by Rupa Goswami, and now has become the Sri Upadeśāmṛta. So can we conceive of the importance of this Upadeśāmṛta? And in the Upadeśāmṛta, Rupa Goswami has given the preliminary verses, 7 verses, how to execute this process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought, how to successfully perform this activity of Harinam Sankirtan, of the chanting of the holy names, of the process of Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti, and then to gradually attain this perfection. That's there. The 8th verse is telling the essence of all advice. And it literally means whatever was spoken in all the Vedas, whatever was written by Vyasadeva, whatever was handed down by the 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, whatever came in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what was written in all the books of the 6 Goswamis, this one verse, the 8th verse, is telling that here now you understand this one verse and you follow it. It is the essence of all instructions. So we must commit this to memory, and not just to the memory, to the heart. It must be assimilated by any Gaudiya Vaishnava who wants to actually attain what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought. They must follow this. They must follow these 11 verses of Upadeśāmṛta, and in order to attain perfection, and I can read to you Gurudev's own words that we read last night from his preface, where he says, without this, without following this, it is actually impossible. It is impossible without following this. So how important it is, but on which level do we relegate that book? Huh? How many persons, how many times have we read that book? Have we studied it? How many years have gone by, or months, since we last read that book? How many times have we opened up that book and checked our own practice? Are we practicing? That book is there as a guide. Here's what you must do. Sequentially, you must do this. You must follow in this way. And by following in this way, such and such result will come. But if someone does not follow it, they will not get the result. It's very simple. If you don't apply it in this life and actually follow it fully, then you'll have to wait till the next life and sadhu sangha in the next. And in any lifetime, the bhajan that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought, by which doing the jivas in this Danya Kali Yuga can attain perfection, it will have to be done by us. In this life, any future life, it will have to be done. Srila Gurudev told this directly. That was one of the statements that startled me a little bit in the beginning of my association with Srila Gurudev, where he says, one day, you will all have to do the bhajan of Raghunath Das Goswami. The bhajan that he has done, one day you will all have to do that. One day means in any lifetime. So this is a continuum, what we are in right now. We've already tried in some previous lives, there's no doubt about it. No doubt. But now we have to get one-pointed. We will have to very carefully take these instructions of Sri Upadeśāmṛta deep into our heart. And then, after doing that, we will have to carefully assimilate and understand the manasiksha. which is the next level of how to apply the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the pathway of Rag Marg Bhakti. This is all clarified very beautifully in the purports of our acharyas. I was reading this morning. Such nectar of Prabhupada's purports. I decided to start at the end of the book, because the end of the Upadeśāmṛta, the final three verses are describing what? Yes, the sadhya, and what is that? First of all, the 8th verse comes before. And the 8th verse is the culmination of the first 7 verses. If someone applies that, then they can do the 8th verse. And the 8th verse is now going to bring us to the final 3 verses, which Mahaprabhu is telling. That Sri Radha Kunda is non-different than Srimati Radharani. Sri Radha Kunda is the highest place, the most favorable place, located in Govardhan. That is explained in the 9th verse. Vaikuntaj janito vara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavat. Here Rupa Goswami is showing how higher than Vaikuntha is what? Vrindavan, Mathura. Mathura Mandala, where the Supreme Lord took birth. Mathura Mandala. And in higher than Mathura Mandala is Sri Vrindavan. Why? Because there, Ras Utsavad, Sri Krishna performed his rasa dance and many other pastimes in Vrindavan. Then higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan. Why? There he held Govardhan on his lotus hand, on his lotus finger, for 7 days and 7 nights. And there all the most intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna were performed. And then, higher than Govardhan is Radha Kunda, which is what? It is the 2 eyes of Giriraj Govardhan. And in that place, Premamrita Plavanat, the essence of all prema, Srimati Radharani, this water of Radha Kunda is not water. It is her prema. So, that Radha Kunda stands supreme. And Rupa Goswami is saying, who is there that is very viveki, very intelligent, can discriminate, has spiritual intelligence? Who is there who will not want to reside there and to perform service to Radha and Krishna on the banks of Radha Kunda? And which kind of person? Amongst all of Krishna's associates and amongst all the jivas that are here within this universe, who are the topmost personalities? So, karmi bhyak parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur jnaninas. The 10th verse is telling that above the fruitive workers that are here in this world, there are some that are more intelligent and more fortunate, because now they are aiming not towards fruitive activity for sense gratification, but they are aiming towards the attainment of liberation. But higher than those persons who are called jnanis, then there are the pure bhaktas, the Shuddha bhaktas. Higher than the Shuddha bhaktas are those who possess prema. And in the realm of Prem, the highest personalities are the Brajagopis, because they have given up everything for Krishna. And amongst the Brajagopis, Srimati Radhika is the topmost. Sarva Gopisha Saivaika Vishnur Atyanta Ballabha. This verse is quoted. How amongst all of the Brajagopis, Srimati Radhika is the most Atyanta Ballabha, most beloved of Krishna. And the final verse, 11th verse, it is telling that fact, proclaiming how high Srimati Radhika is and her prem, and anyone who resides on the bank of Radha Kunda and takes his bath there, they are the most fortunate persons, and they will receive this prem. So, the Upadeśāmṛta is bringing us to the essence of Krishna's pastimes, ultimately, and complete absorption in hearing, chanting, and remembering those pastimes day and night in Braja, in Vrindavan. This is what our Gurudev came to give, and he says this is what our Srila Prabhupada also ultimately came to give. So Prabhupada introduced it 2 years before he departed from the planet. And that book is invaluable. It must be read by all of the devotees and carefully applied in their life. So the whole formula is there. And so we are going to begin to read the Upadeśāmṛta and to try to go deeply into the purports that have been written by 4 acharyas, our Srila Prabhupada, his purports, which are actually quite voluminous in comparison to the purports of some of the others, are quite short. But Srila Radharaman Das Goswami, and then there is also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, their purports. So I was doing that this morning. I was reading first the last verse, 11th, and I read especially Srila Prabhupada's purport. And then I went to the 10th verse and read all the purports. And then I went to the 9th verse and read all the purports. Then I went to the 8th verse and didn't yet read Srila Prabhupada's, but I read the other 3 purports. And I was deciding that, yes, I think it will be good to analyze what is given toward the end of the book in our study, because that will give so much inspiration when we understand what is the sadhya. Now, we've heard this before, but when we hear it very concentratedly, it gives a very deep impression, these purports by the acharyas. And then that will inspire us to very carefully understand the first 8 verses. So although we could start from the first verse, Vachovegam Manasakrodavegam, we could go to the 2nd verse, Atyahara Prayashascha, then we could go to the 3rd verse, Utsaha Nishchaya Daryat, then we could go to the 4th verse of, how does that begin? The 6 types of loving exchanges. Dadati pratigrinati guhyam akyati prichati. Then the 5th verse, how to properly recognize and properly associate with the 3 levels of Vaishnavas. Very important. Then the 6th verse, how to become...
Have to have a material conception of the pure devotee.
Yes.
Just like the Ganges.
That's right. How not to see a pure devotee with mundane vision. And then the 8th, and then the 7th verse.
By regularly chanting, taste will come.
Yes. In the same way as what?
As
sugar candy for a jaundiced person.
Yes. Just as when a person has jaundice and they can't taste sweet, it tastes bitter to them. So Rupa Goswami is giving that exact example, which Mahaprabhu, of course, was giving. But don't worry, you can cure this disease. All you have to do is continue to take the sugar candy, and gradually your taste will be restored. You'll taste it a little bit, at first bitter, but then a little bit more sweet, and gradually it will become completely relishable taste. The disease will be destroyed at the root. That's what he says, at the root.
He says 3 things every day, and carefully and attentively.
Yes, that's right. So that verse, before you come to the 8th verse, these 7 will have to be clearly understood. And you know what? It's not such an easy thing to apply. These 8 verses of the Sri Upadeśāmṛta. Not such an easy thing, because the first verse is telling that there are 6 types of what? Urges. They're called Vega. Vega. Urge. And Prabhupada used another term. Pushings. Pushings. You're being pushed. You're being pushed. Right? Yeah. So there he's telling, without learning to control these 6 urges, is it possible to practice Uttama Bhakti? Shuddha Bhakti? What are the 6 urges? Vacho Vegam. If you know the verse, you can say it. Vacho Vegam, Manasa, Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Upasta Vegam, Etan Vegan, Yo Vishaheta Dhira, Sarvam Apimam Pritivim Shashishyat. So here he says, Etan Vegan Yo Vishaheta Dhira. The word dhira means what? It means sober. Sober. It means very serious person. A sober person with fixed intelligence. Vishaheta means to tolerate. Vishaheta. Dhira. Then, sarvam apimam prativim sashishyat. The whole world. Sarva prativim sashishyat. He can make disciples all over the world. Did we not see this qualification in our great Vaishnava acharyas that we have associated with? That they were completely dhira. Completely self-controlled. So, the meaning of Goswami means what? Go and Swami. Go means senses, Swami means master. So, real Goswami means one who can follow these 6 items. But that's only the beginning. And the thing is that this is nectar. Gurudev keeps reminding, this is for attaining nectar. It is not...
Did he say that for the Sahajis this is poison?
Yeah, he actually said this is a thunderbolt for the Sahajya, Prakriti Sahajiyas. The Upadeśāmṛta is a thunderbolt. So, we're out of time. I'm ending now with the last few sentences that this is going to be a nice journey, and there's going to be more journeys after this one. But if everybody attends these classes, it will be very enriching for us. Very, very deep, enriching experience for us. And then we can really say that we have properly studied the books that our gurus have left for us. And then we will be aware of when we are applying it properly or when we're not applying it properly. And I can assure you, any of the old, especially the older devotees in this room, we know that havoc is wreaked on our spiritual life when we don't follow these. right? Or we deviate off to a certain degree, right? But if we follow them, then we become very, very pleased, very peaceful, very happy, sober, like this. So this is what our gurus wanted. Gurudev, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Gurudev came here. You've heard me say this before, but he had a particular mantra that he always chanted each year that he came here, and he told the devotees a very simple sentence. What is that?
Don't be weak.
Again?
Don't be weak.
So, how to not be weak? Follow Upadeśāmṛta. If we follow Upadeśāmṛta, we will not become weak. Gaur Premanandi. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Upadeśāmṛta ki jai. Shri Rupa Guru Varga ki jai. Satinandana Gaura Hari ki jai. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Om. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Chaivo Namo. Want to say? Okay. Ansagati.
Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Pravishta Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Pravishta Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Astatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astatara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Parama Bhagavat Pravar Shri Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Shri Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushana Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Srila Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Dasarath Shri Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandi Shri Gaura Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Preme Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antardvip Mayapur Shri Mantadvip Godruma Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Ritu Dvip Janu Dvip Modruma Dvip Rudra Dvipatmaka Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadasha Vanatmaka Shri Vraja Mandala Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ganga Jamuna Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Srimati Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopishwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiu Ki Jai Shri Chatra Mandal Ki Jai Sarva Vigna Vinaskare Shri Nrsingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Charidam Ki Jai Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai Chari Acharya Ki Jai Akaramat Raja Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat O Tatsaka Mata Samu Ki Jai Granta Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol.
Hare
Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namo Radha Krishna Nitya Seva Krishna Seva Om Vrindai Tulsi Devaya Priyaya Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Pradideti Satchivachai Namo Namaha Vachakopatubhyascha Kripa Siddhivyecha Namo